let's do number 10 on the practice test, which says the base of a triangle is 5 centimeters longer than its height. Write an area function in terms of height. The area is 12 centimeters, find its height. Yeah? What do you do?
Okay.
Stop raising your hand. I know you're socially conditioned to, but knock it off. So don't panic. First things first, then what?
Find information.
No.
Read it.
Read it.
Read and find the
Okay, we already read it, but we're probably panicking.
Reread
Maybe
it.
not? Okay, so
Reread it.
flip between panicking and, not panicking and reading it as much as necessary. Are we talking about right triangles? That's
You
good.
could just do the Pythagorean theorem and then just put it over 2.
Okay, let's talk about that. So if we read it,
Just cut it in half.
that is a super good idea. However, so let's see, what picture should I draw? That's really what we're getting at with wondering about the Pythagorean theorem. Probably a triangle.
Yeah.
Don't draw a right triangle, because that will give you the false impression, right, that you might be able to apply the Pythagorean theorem. And in this case, you don't want to do that anyway.
And that's what I did.
Let's say it's an isosceles triangle.
Don't say it's isosceles either. Draw a triangle at random. This one looks isosceles.
Make it scale.
There you go. Here's a horrible triangle. The most random triangle possible. This goes to the assumptions that you're accidentally making. Preferably don't make assumptions accidentally. All right, so I've got this triangle, and now what are they talking about? So what should I label?
The base should be 5 plus
It's each.
h.
Okay, so the base should be h plus 5. You guys are all seeing that? Okay, we could label that b too to start with. That's okay. Let's label it h plus 5 because you guys saw that pretty fast. Where the hell is h?
The height, so it's the top point of the triangle. Exactly.
Should do something like this, right? Yeah, but probably dashes are a good idea, right? Because that wasn't really in the picture to start with. And that's h.
And we need to find a function for it, so the area.
Now I re-panic, right? So go back to step 1, breathe. Then I should try to find a formula for what?
The area of the triangle.
You guys see that? I'm looking for an area. So I might think to myself, okay, I'm going to write area. And what do I know about the area of triangles?
It's 1/2 of base times height.
Okay, it's a half base times height. I'm glad I picked h to stand for height, right? Because I'm already done putting that piece in. Can I do any better than this formula right now?
Plug in h plus 5 for b.
You guys all see that? We could stick in a h plus 5 for b. What do I need to make sure I do when I do that? Yeah, I need parentheses because I need to multiply a half times the whole base times the whole height. And what's this now?
12.
What are you skipping to?
Function of the area.
The area of something.
You guys see that? So I'm trying to write an area function, and Corbin is very understandably jumping to, if the area is 12 centimeters, find the height, right? Part A just or the beginning, the first question here just wants me to answer, what's the area in terms of the height? So how should I write the left-hand side of this so that this is the answer?
12.
A of h? Sure. You picked A to be your function name. That's a perfectly reasonable choice. You could pick area to be your function name. You could name your function Steve or Bill or whatever if you want. But I would go with A or area, either one of those. This is your area function. Cool? You're done with that part. Now what? Yeah, now I want to know if the area is 12, what's the height? Is 12 an output or an input?
It's an output.
Okay, see that? It's an output. So I'm wondering, when is 12 equal to this mess? Yeah, no, I'm looking to solve for h, right? You guys all see that phrase here? Right? Area equals 12 is telling me output is 12. Find its height is asking what's the input. You guys see that phrasing? This is going to give me a solve problem because I'm asking a question about an input given an output. If they told me the area was 5, or sorry, the height was 5, what's the area? That would be the other way, right? That would be an invalid equation.
Multiply both sides by 2.
Perfect. You guys with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically fractions scare me, so let's get that thing up there. So we multiply both sides by 2. I get 24 is,
And let's switch that together.
okay, let's distribute that stuff together. So I've got what?
8 squared plus 5h.
8 squared plus 5h. Cool. All right, now you've got some choices for methods, right? Okay, so what are your methods? What are your choices for methods? We could complete the square. We could cram it in the quadratic formula. What else could we do? Yeah, we could use factoring. Do I have to use full-blown AC method on this one? Nah, I could just think about adding and multiplying on this one. How would I start? I don't know. Which one do you want to do? How about that? Show of hands for
The
complete the
easiest
square?
one. Just whatever's the easiest one.
Good. That's a great idea. Which one's easiest?
I don't know. That's why I asked you the question.
Okay, so let's think about which one's easiest. So, are you going to try to complete this square on this?
No.
Why not? You guys see that? 1, because you don't like complete the square probably. And 2, I really don't like to complete the square when this middle term isn't divisible by 2, right? Okay, so complete the squares out.
I used quadratic.
Okay. How do you set up to start using either the quadratic or factoring?
You gotta set it to 0.
Okay, so we need to
Subtract both sides by 24.
subtract 24 from both sides. So I've got 0 is h squared plus 5h minus 24.
Yeah.
Okay, now when you're doing these, I would recommend that you spend just a second, maybe actually 30 seconds, think about factoring before you jump into the quadratic formula. Why?
It might be easier.
Yeah, I'm really likely to make an arithmetic mistake in the quadratic formula, right? If I can factor, I'm much less likely to make that error. And I'll get the same answers, so maybe I can save myself some time and effort and an arithmetic error. So can I factor this thing? What would I look for to factor? Yeah, I'm looking for multiply to negative 24, add to 5. So 24 seems like 8 times 3.
Yeah.
Right, we could try the others. So if we thought about 24, this would be 4 times 6, or 2 times 12, or 8 times 3, or
1 and 24.
24 and 1, 12 times 2 is there. Any others? I don't know, maybe they're not occurring to me right now, but at least I've got these. So what are the possibilities for adding 1 and 24?
23 or 25.
23 or 25, so it's not that one. How about 4 and 6?
2 or 10.
2 or 10, it's not that one. 2 and 12?
10 or 14.
10 or 14, not that one. 8 and 3?
Yeah. 8.
Yeah.
Found it.
Hey, cool, 5's one of those. Okay, so now I just need to figure out signs, right?
Small enough.
Oh, this, yeah, cool. The little one has to be negative, right?
So right roll.
You guys see that? Okay, so this factors into h
Plus 8.
plus 8 and
H minus 3.
h minus 3. Why not 5?
Because there's a 5 there.
Because I'm crazy. There should be 8 and 3, right? How could you check this?
Multiply it out.
Yeah, FOIL it back out, right? That's really all factoring is, right? It's unfoiling. Factor is maybe a better word for that. Okay, so once we're here, now what do I do? Yeah, I can do the zero product rule. So if I hit this thing with the zero product rule, what do I get?
H equals 3.
Okay, so I get h plus 8 is 0 or h minus 3 is 0. And then you solve each of these separately. So you get, as Zach says, h is minus 8 or h is 3. Am I done? I circled that like I was done. I'm really happy to be done.
Yeah, choose the one.
Yeah, which one gives you the 12?
Negative is
Oh, yeah, having a negative area or a negative height probably doesn't make sense. Okay, so we can probably drop this one. We could plug 3 in and check. Assuming we did things right, 3 will work. Let's see. 3 times 8 times a half is 12. Cool. What do I write? Am I done? Circle H is 3?
The triangle's height is 3 centimeters.
Yeah. The height of the triangle is 3 centimeters. So we should write that in like human speech. The height is 3 centimeters. Cool? So we've got our answer for the first part and our answer for the second part. Cool? Questions? Did that help with your issue, Sherry, or do you want to see the quadratic formula?
I'd rather see the quadratic.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys want to tell me how to do the quadratic formula on this thing?
Find A, B, and C first.
Okay, so where are we going back to?
Just, yeah.
Should go back to this one? Okay, so then I find A is, B is, and C is? What do you get?
1, 5, and
Negative 24.
1, 5, and minus 24. Awesome. Then you should plug this into the quadratic formula, right?
Right.
So the quadratic formula tells me if this, then
Negative B.
okay. What was this?
0.
You nut bars?
8x.
You really are asleep. You'll need some coffee. Yeah, that's supposed to be your variable. H. It's cool. That's this would be really confusing if you put 0 in there. Because at the end you would get like 0 is negative 8 or 0 is 3. That would be super confusing because neither of those things is true, right? Okay, so I got H equals, and then I should plug the A, B, and C in, right? So what goes in this blank?
5.
5. What goes in this one?
5.
5.
1.
1 and negative 24. And down here? 1. Okay, so I got H is negative 5 plus or minus something over 2. What's in here?
25.
25 plus. Where'd you get the plus?
It's just 2 negatives.
minus 7 and minus.
Good. There's 2 negatives. Plus what?
96? Yeah, 96.
Okay. Cool. So then I get H is negative 5 plus or minus the square root of. Oh, cool.
Hey, I know that number.
some god-awful number that's actually really
Not that
convenient. Yeah. Divided by 2. That reaction, like some god-awful number, is totally justifiable. I do that all the time. Often if you just like commit to, okay, I'm just going to figure it out, it'll be, oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, well, square root, that's not bad either.
Score, easy numbers. So I get h is -5 plus or minus 11 over 2.
Woohoo!
Sweet, right? Some god-awful number turned into, oh wait, I can do this one. Okay, so what do I get? I get h is
6 over 2 or negative 20. No, negative 16.
okay, so I got h is 6 over 2 or h is -16 over 2.
H is equal to 3 or negative.
Hey, that's crazy. Those are the same ones. Wild, right? So what's the price you paid for not noticing this relatively easy factoring?
Panicking more?
Yeah, a lot of panic and a lot of silly arithmetic. Really good opportunities to make errors, right? Like, here you dork up the sign on this thing, and then all of a sudden this problem doesn't work. Right? And then you have to wonder, what the heck am I doing? Or, you know, you lose a minus sign, and then all of a sudden you've got 2 positive answers, and it seems like there should be 2 triangles. That's definitely not the case. So, you guys see that? So, in general, try to factor if you can. It makes your life a lot easier. Where were you losing the quadratic formula?
I just couldn't make it work. I made an arithmetic error though.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right?
I just couldn't make it work. It was frustrating. It was one of those I'm about to cry moments. So
Yeah, and that's the thing about arithmetic errors. They're super frustrating and they're really hard to spot.
yeah. So it was the end
Cool.
of the Friday.
Other things?
Yes.